So is AI a threat to artists in 2025? Well, I think the answer is yes and no. So let's delve a little more into that. So, who does it affect? That's the question. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that the question is already floating around in your mind. Who are we talking about here? Who does it affect? Well, all artists of any variety. So, graphic designers, illustrators, fine artists, any 2D visual artist, it affects for varying degrees. Is it a threat? That's a fair question. Is it a threat to what you do as an artist? I think there is a degree, yes. I also think there's nothing you can do about it. You can fight against it. It's kind of like going and standing on a beach and trying to stop the tide coming in. AI is an ocean, and you are someone standing on a beach. You can get 100 people, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people to stand on a beach, and that 10,000 people won't stop that tide coming in. And that's the truth of where we are. Pandora's box has already been opened. In what way does it affect people? Well, if you are operating to the lower budget of the world, you charge $100 for a single piece of marketing design for a small business. That person who had that budget previously and would have spent that budget previously, for a third of that cost, they can now go on to Midjourney and create themselves with a little bit of practice, not a huge amount. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that teach people how to do it. They can go out and produce 30, 60, 100 different pieces in a month of marketing material for their business for a third of what they would have paid you previously for one. And that's real. I'm not making that up. So I think we've got to accept that that's the reality we now live in. When it comes to fine artists, if your business is producing artwork for hotels or broad spectrum work, I do think there's a threat there, because I think those people will start to realize they don't need to pay an artist for work for their walls anymore. They can essentially, for a lot less, get 300 different individual pieces for all their rooms produced by AI. That's going to affect that market. There's always going to be the kind of hotels that will only have original artwork on their walls. I'm not talking about them. People who, I guess, would view their competition as IKEA, if that's your market, then yes, this will affect you. But honestly, I think you've already had that competition for a long time, because people like IKEA and such have already been that competition. But if that's your competition, then you're marketing yourself in the wrong place to begin with. If you're pitching your business to the very lowest budget people, and I'm not saying that's wrong, because everybody has a budget. If you've been successful pitching to people with very low budgets and been successful with it, but now seeing that dropping off, it's possibly because those people are now turning to Etsy and buying, a print off Etsy for next to nothing, that looks, for all intents and purposes, like an oil painting. Different conversation to have, but people add value based upon what you charge. If somebody wants to spend $25 to $50 on a pet portrait, they aren't my competition. It's kind of like saying, and I'm going to use extreme examples here, it's kind of like saying Rolls-Royce are in competition with Ford. They just aren't. They might do the same thing. They might make something with four wheels, but their client base is utterly different. And you have to think in those terms. I'm going to have a conversation at a future date about how people price their work and whether they price their work too low and why people do it. For now, yes, I do believe people who pitch themselves and feel that they're in competition with IKEA, Walmart, places like that, and the online people who sell work for $20 to $50, that kind of thing. If that's what you feel is your competition, then now is a good time to reevaluate. And if that is what you do and you want to reevaluate that, please, feel free to drop me a line. My email is in my contacts. Maybe in the future, it's completely just come to me off the cuff. Maybe in the future, I'll offer some sort of consultancy for how to do this for people on a one-to-one basis. But for now, if you want to drop me a line just to ask me the question, I'll happily have that conversation with you, whether I feel you are pitching your prices correctly, or whether I feel you are massively undervaluing or massively overvaluing your work. By all means, drop me an email if you want to have that conversation on a private basis. As for now, I'm not going to charge anybody for it. That wasn't actually something I was going to talk about. The other aspect is what can we do about it? we need to look at what we can affect, not what we cannot. Not stress so much about what we cannot affect. We cannot affect AI. Now, I mentioned about upper end fine artists and how it affects them. Now, this is really interesting. When there are very successful artists who are very well known for their name, their brand, their style, which is incredibly unique in some cases, they've been contacted by people who've said, I just went onto AI and asked for a piece of work in this and this, and I just, for kind of shits and giggles, I kind of said, oh, can I have a piece of artwork naming the artist? And what do you know? A piece of artwork comes back that looks exactly like it was painted by that artist. I am of the opinion that you shouldn't be able to name people when you are asking for styles of things. I think using a genre, I don't have an issue with that. I think naming people, that's dangerous. Yeah, that's a problem. And when it starts to affect their business, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Now they've got AI scraping their work and palming that off to people. From that perspective, massive, massive issue. I don't think there's no way to stop AI from scraping artwork, as in to get learning, as a learning model. I do think that AI needs to change in the respect to, you shouldn't be able to name an artist. What can you do? If you're an artist now, what can you do about AI affecting your business? You can't do anything about the AI itself. And you can't do anything about the people who want to use AI. It's becoming more and more and more mainstream. So you market yourself more as an artisanal, handmade creator of art. And I sometimes sit and I think, you know what? There are now over 8 billion people in the world. And many, 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 many millions of those are multimillionaires and billionaires. Your tribe doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be tens of thousands of people. You need a small number of, a fraction of this global population are your tribe. You just haven't found them yet. And swinging that back to AI, what I'm trying to say is that tribe will always want original art. They will always value original art. It's just about finding that tribe and how and where you search for it. I can't do anything about that tide, but I can keep working and I can keep improving. Each time I complete a piece, I stop, I look and see if I've improved. And if I've improved a fraction, then I'm happy. And if I keep doing that, I'll keep improving. And if I keep improving and I keep searching for my tribe, I'll find them. I think that AI, yes, it will affect certain people. It won't affect the people who look for how they can affect their business in order to combat that tidal wave coming in. Because what they will do is they will build their shelter at a higher level so the tide doesn't reach them. That kind of sums up my view on AI in the art world. So thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe. Please like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. If there's anything burning that you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one. See you soon.